Well, hello everybody. It's Friday night. It is meteorologist Joe Cioffi, Fios 1 News Long Island and Fios 1 News New Jersey.
And Joe Rao, Fios 1 News Lower Hudson Valley. And yes, indeed, it is a Friday en route to what looks to be, Joe, one of the hotter weekends that we have seen in recent summers around here, and getting ready to kick off the month of July.
Yes.
On Sunday.
Yes. And what's that ticking? Oh, all right. No, I thought I heard something ticking. Yes, you're absolutely right. And, you know, Joe, Friday nights, usually a night where, you know, people go out, you know, they're out with their friends, they're out with, you know, happy hour, they're out with their significant others. But you know what? Not our Addison. He is decided that he would much rather spend his Friday night with us here on the Joe and Joe Weather Show.
Here's to good friend. Tonight is
kind of special.
Yes, I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Must say something more somehow. So tonight,
we have Addison.
Let it be Lowenbrow. See, we do have fun on this show. Somebody, by the way, suggested you and I should sing. Our theme song should be side by side.
Oh,
yeah.
So I was looking at the lyrics. It doesn't work. There are a few lines we need to redo,
rewrite, or whatever.
Well, Addison, thank you so much for joining us. I see your laundry is out of the way, which is a good thing.
No laundry. No laundry today. That's what the weekend's for.
Addison, just to explain, you know, I have this passive aggressive nature, which I make no bones about. Everybody knows it. And Addison is, you know, he's like a pincushion. He's just so easy. And he takes it, too, which is really great. He knows that I worship the ground, the quicksand that he walks on.
Lots of quicksand, always around Joe.
All right, so let's.
I knew a place for kids, like it was a daycare center,
right?
And they said, instead of a sandbox, we have a quick sandbox.
Nice.
You always know where your kids are.
Yes.
You may not like it, but you know where they are.
I'm gonna, Addison. You're gonna stay with us. You're just gonna.
Yeah.
You're gonna disappear on the screen because I've got a couple of maps to bring up, and it'll just take a second to load here. It better. Come on. I've been. There we go. All right, finally. So these are Saturday's high temps. Yeah, they're just in the middle of adjusting it, so they're a day off. So I brought it up full screen here. This is the Weather Service's profile for high temperatures on Saturday, and you know it's going to be every bit of low to mid 90s just about everywhere.
No question about it. Today, as we anticipated, or at least as I anticipated, Westchester County Airport in Harrison, not in White Plains, but in Harrison, did get enough of a component off of Long Island Sound to keep temperatures to 87 for the high. But there were other places. Teterboro, for example, did get above 90, and other spots in and around the region inland got to or above 90. But tomorrow, no question that you literally will have to have your feet in the water if you're along the south shore of Long Island to prevent from seeing temperatures above 90 degrees. Otherwise, places like Glen Cove, Oyster Bay, Mamaroneck, not Mamaroneck, what am I thinking of?
I'm not sure.
There's one town up in Nassau County with an M. What am I thinking?
Muttontown?
Oh, God, now I forgot it. On the North Shore.
On the North Shore.
There's Great Neck, Port Washington, Manhasset.
Okay. So
that
these places
right.
will probably go above 90, and then we take a run at 100 maybe on Sunday. We'll see.
Addison, where'd every... Oh, I guess because I switched screens here. Hang on, I got to go back to this. I was trying to see if I could, see the comments at the same time, but I can't without losing the screen here. So let's move to Sunday, Addison, and let's address the 100-degree possibilities. What do you think about that?
Easily anywhere around 95 north and west will have no problem getting to the upper 90s. A few spots will touch on, I think, on 100 degrees But going like east of Nassau County, it's going to be a little more of a struggle, especially with that sea breeze kicking on in.
I still might get to 94 or 5 where I am, so and I'm near islip, so I wouldn't be surprised to see me get to about 94 or 5 before the south wind kind of puts a halt to that, maybe at around 2 o'clock or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely, especially like that far out east, and once you go even further east than that, that's going to be a struggle to get up into the mid-90s. But anything west of 135 on the island, and especially west of the Queens-Nassau border, yeah, no problem. Getting up into the mid to upper 90s, triple-digit heat. I mean, the feel-like index, I know that's your favorite thing to talk about, will easily be into the mid-100s for several spots. I mean, Sunday's going to be like the hottest day we've experienced in like 5 years or so.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've strung, Joe. I didn't go back and look. It's strung together a heat wave of more than 4 or 5 days. Or this one might go 7. I mean, you and I both remember ones that have gone 10, 11, and 12. Yeah. So this is not any. This is kind of like in the mid range.
Right. The one I remember very distinctly was the very hot July in 1999. I think out of the 31 days, we had temperatures. At least at White Plains now, that hit 90 or above like 17 days out of the 31. And that was also, I think, one of the years that Islip hit 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And they've only done that at Islip only a handful of times.
Yeah, only maybe 5 or 6 times.
The reason why I remember that is that I lived in Levittown, Long Island. In fact, you were around the house a couple of times back in those days. And my daughter was turning, it was her 6th birthday party, and we were going to have a big family / her friend's birthday party outside. Her birthday is July the 5th. And when we saw it was coming, we didn't want anybody to suffer. So we just simply canceled the party, postponed it for a week, and we went to a friend's house in Selden, not too far from where you are.
Right.
And she had a swimming pool, and we were just sitting in the swimming pool like this. Like,
yes,
yeah. I mean, it was like a bathtub, and it was I think that was one of the days when it hit 100 degrees at Islip, Long Island. So it doesn't happen too often, but this day on Sunday is looking every bit like one of those kind of days.
Yeah, and the air is going to be one of those days too where the air is not going to move. Which
no, it's just going to be like sitting right on top of you.
Well,
and
we already have.
I was just looking at the comments briefly. Our very own Mr. Jeff Benson says he wants to join in on the fun.
I can't Skype more than, I don't know. I don't think I can Skype more than one person at a time, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I can, hold on a second. Hang on. Let me see if I can figure this out. If I set up another window capture, maybe.
Hopefully he's not doing his laundry as well.
Yeah, I don't think he is. Let's see. Yeah, hang on, Addison. I'm trying to figure this out. You know what? This is something I'm going to have to figure out when I'm off camera. When we're not doing this.
Yeah, we can test it out another day.
So we'll have to test that out. Oh, but I do see you. Now, how am I doing this? I'm capturing you, and I'm actually seeing the comments on the side. Oh, I know why. Because
you just moved the window over.
I just opened the window. Okay. I'm still trying to get used to all this switching boxes left and right.
It's kind of stuffy in here. I'm glad you opened the window.
So we were talking about yes, we should actually. They got there's some AC in here, which is good. All right, so let's talk about when does this break. So you and I were discussing. We're thinking Monday. Joe and I have been pushing the idea that there'll probably be maybe a south wind. Especially across Long Island or from New York City east, and that'll probably temper temperatures just a bit. The NAM is really aggressive with that, but I don't really believe it. It wants to bring almost a backdoor front and past New York City down into central New Jersey, which would leave us in the low to mid 80s on Monday. But it was trying to do that for New England yesterday, and that's not going to happen. So I really don't believe it. But I could still see there might still be a little bit of relief for Long Island, coastal Connecticut. Back to about New York City. It still may make upper 80s to near 90. But when does real relief come?
I mean, like you said, you're seeing that front drop on down. It does do a little bit to give us a touch of some relief, mainly from the heat, but not the humidity. When you're getting in towards past the 4th of July, getting to about July 6th, that's when real relief wants to come on in.
Well, I just put up the GFS for next Friday. This is Friday evening with a cold front that's coming through, and this might also be maybe the best chance for any kind of rain or thunderstorms with this front when it goes by. Because I really, there's nothing going on this week that would suggest anything more than a pop-up.
Well, I mentioned for the lower Hudson Valley for the 4th of July, and this is also partially because it is the 4th of July, and you don't want to, disappoint anybody, but you still want to err on the side of caution. I did say there's a 40% chance that there might be a scattered shower or thunderstorm threat in the afternoon or evening on July 4th. Slighter chance on Thursday and Friday, and then as we get into next weekend, as you can see, these bands of moisture with the next possible weather front. So maybe as we open up next weekend, we'll be looking at a better shot at showers and storms.
And after, this might be the beginning of a more important break in the longer range. So, I was looking down the road earlier, and it looks like some of the longer range models have been sort of hinting at this, and I'll bring up the upper air at this point.
I did get a view of the Climate Prediction Center's experimental 3 to 4 week prog, and believe it or not, Joe, we are not too far on that particular prog. Beginning July 14th, running until July 28th, they are suggesting near to even below normal temperatures in our general vicinity for that.
Well, here's the upper air, Addison. Yeah, I don't know if you
I can see it. Like I got it side by side.
Here's the upper trough that comes through on Friday night, Saturday, but the ridge splits and goes to the west, and the Atlantic part of the ridge kind of flattens out in the ocean, and you've got a fairly deep trough that forms in eastern Canada. This is around, we're talking another week beyond next Friday. And, of course, this is the long range, so who knows if this is going to be right or not. But a lot of the longer range models have kind of been going with this idea of the trough coming back in the east, and that this upper ridge that we're seeing right now is another one of these temporary pattern shifts. Only difference is this time around it seems that this one is lasting for about 6 or 7 days, as opposed to some of the other ones which have only lasted for a day or two.
This could be like a push comes to shove kind of deal for maybe much of the summertime, where the trough says, wait a minute, here I come again, and then after a little while the ridge says, oh, hold on for a second, and he inflates and pushes the trough out. So this might be something that will go back and forth maybe through the summer. I said it, remember, on our weather show that we did here at FiOS 1 News, somebody, I think it was Brian Fitzgerald, asked me, he says, what do you think of the summer? And I said, I think this is going to be a summer of extremes. We're going to go from one extreme to the other. If this isn't an extreme in terms of heat, I don't know what is. So
yeah, no,
this is about as big as you can get for us
seems
here.
That way.
And we couldn't even get out of the 70s in some spots last weekend. So here you go.
Or even
like last Saturday,
right.
it was felt like an early spring day with the clouds and misty showers, and then Sunday conditions rebounded. But then we had those thunderstorms in the late night hour. So this is a pattern that we haven't seen yet set up for us. Looks like it wants to last for at least 1 to 2 weeks, and afterwards things want to shift. But also saw when you're looking at the heights, the ridge wants to build back out west and go straight up all the way in towards western Canada, where you get on the front edge of it and the back edge of that trough, descending air all the way down towards the Carolinas. So we could get some nice dry relief coming our way for several days if that pattern holds steady, which would be something nice to get towards us for the middle of summer. Out to the west, though, they're going to start to bake with that big heat ridge sitting over like the Rockies, for instance.
The tropics are quiet. There's this weakness in the Atlantic that is probably going to spin up a little surface low southeast of Bermuda that's going to wind up drifting westward over early next week. That doesn't look like it's going to develop into anything, but it might be a hint of things to come, in the sense that perhaps this hurricane season we're going to see more of these what we would call homegrown type systems that form in the subtropics and off the East Coast, rather than seeing them come out of the deep tropics because of the ocean water temperature profile. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, because we've been discussing this on and off for the last few weeks.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. That we're not really going to be seeing much for the next several weeks or so. And look what we had earlier on in this week, where we had that area of mention off the east coast of the Carolinas. I mean, yeah, it was like a 10% chance, I believe, in like 48 hours or something. But nonetheless, an area of low pressure. I mean, cold front was going to drift on in and maybe kick up a little bit of some action offshore, feeding off the Gulf Stream. Nothing really.
Nothing. Yeah, that wasn't going to do much of anything anyway. So. Well,
no.
At least right now, there's nothing really of consequence going on, so that's a good thing. So
Yeah.
let's talk. Let's talk about something important. What are we doing this weekend?
You? Yeah. What are you doing?
What are you doing this? This is our show. You waiting?
You asked the questions. I forgot.
What are you doing this weekend?
I'm going to try to go to a festival or two tomorrow. We'll see how things pan on out. And then Sunday, I will be covering for our weekend evening meteorologist Jonathan Cubitt. So I'll be talking about all the heat-related stuff going on out there for the weekend. But yeah, tomorrow, trying to go out and have some fun, but trying to stay cool. How about yourselves, guys?
Addison, I just as a recommendation, given with this heat, try to shy away from polyblends and go with 100% cotton. You want an article of clothing that breathes in heat like this.
Yeah, no 3-piece suit, no polyester blends. No, sorry. And plus, you won't allow those into the studio anyway. They've been banned. So
clearly.
Yeah.
No, one thing
you gotta check yourself at the door.
One thing I'm thankful for here, where we are, is the fact that we could park our car in a garage and not subject it to the extreme, the extreme heat. Because I could remember many times in my former employer, I'd go out there sometimes on hot days like what we're going to see here this weekend. You go out at like 10 o'clock at night, and the car's like, I could start defrosting meat in that car.
Mm-hmm. Well, I lived in the deep south. I lived in New Orleans, okay, where you actually could watch you'd get a rain shower in the morning, and then you could watch the pavement, watch the wet pavement, and actually look at the water drying.
Wow. That's
how strong the sun is. And you would go out to your car, and of course, if you didn't have one of those screens
over the
windshield, it would take you a good 10-15 minutes before you could actually physically get in it without burning, without sustaining a second-degree burn by touching a steering wheel or touching something in there. Yeah, amen on that with the garage.
But just getting away from a little levity right now, let's remind all of our viewers that this is not the weekend. You have to remember, if you're going to be transporting young people or children or pets in your car, make sure to leave the windows wide open.
It's amazing to me, Joe, and I just want to throw this in, that at this day and age that we actually have to tell people that it's not a good idea to seal your kids inside a car on a hot day.
Right.
But apparently we do. So yeah, don't seal your kids inside a car, folks.
Or your pets.
Or your pets, or anything.
Or your grandparents.
Yes, it's amazing that we have to say that.
But the sad part about it is that in situations like this, it always seems that there's at least one story on the news where we hear about a cop or somebody just breaking somebody's window.
Yeah.
Because the baby was crying, or the dog looked like it was about to pass out on the seat or whatever. And this is so ridiculous. Just think about it for a second. I mean, like, if you're going to be doing something this weekend in your car, a little ventilation. In fact, don't even leave anything in there at all. If you're going to leave the car, take whatever is in there with you. I mean, it's terrible.
Addison, you can see comments. I don't know if you can see them because I really can't pull them up without losing you on the screen. So
sure.
Maybe if you want to address some of the folks and see if they have any questions for you.
All right, just looking real quick. Someone talking about I want some cold and some snow. I hate the summer heat. Jeff commenting on my laundry. Everyone's just saying hello. Seems to be a big difference in temperatures late Sunday and Monday between the GFS and the NAM, says Joseph Toft.
Yeah, the NAM is trying to bring some kind of back door all the way down west of New York City. You know, I was talking with Bill Goodman with the Weather Service about this, and he doesn't believe it either. So I think the NAM is way overdone with that idea. It was trying to do that for Eastern New England for Saturday and Sunday, and now it's completely back to backed away from that. Thank you so much. It's completely backed away from that.
Yeah, I'm not buying the idea of any backdoor fronts. I think the ridge and the surface high associated with it just going to be too strong for anything really concrete to be felt. Yeah, you'll get a few degrees drop in temperature, but we're talking like 95 to like 91. So, you know, the humidity will still be there. The dew points will still be 69, 70, 71. So it's still going to be feeling like northern Florida regardless.
So Addison mentioned the fact that he's at a festival. I am going to be, well, I'm going to try to do this early before it gets too hot because I took down a bunch of trees and pulled out some bushes, and they have to be cut down to 4 foot lengths and bundled up. Otherwise, the trash people won't take them. The town won't take them. So I'm going to be spending my morning finishing that up. Minor issue with the OLSP. You know, the OLSP.
Okay. I saw your post about that.
The obnoxiously large swimming pool.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
which we're all invited
now
to,
that I got the water absolutely perfect, what happens? I hear this loud humming sound, and my filter's not working. So there's power going to it. I did discover that before I left, so I'm hoping that tomorrow morning I'll be able to get it started again. Otherwise, you may hear the gnashing of my teeth clear from my house to your house. And I may try and sneak out and do a little fishing tomorrow evening because I'm not doing it in the middle of the day. And when it's this hot, the fish they really don't want to be bothered. So I'll
first
try
thing in the morning. I figured the fish are down there ready to be biting. You know, like 5 a.m.
When it gets hot, Addison, though, you know, when it gets hot, especially when the local waters, the local lake and pond waters get really warm, they don't move very much. They just kind of lay there. So, you know, especially during the daytime. So I'll wait till like during the evening before sundown and give it a try then. They got to eat. One was at some point. So
yeah.
What are you up to?
We have an exhaust in one of our bathrooms, and it is not working. It is just like it's like struggling.
So your wife's not fixing that?
She was there with me when I took the thing off, and we used the vacuum and tried to. We thought we could just suck out all of the dirt, but as now the assessment from my wife is we have to go up into the attic and pull the top off and try to take the whole contraption out, or at least try to clean from the top. And the very thought of going into somebody's attic, my attic, for example, and I'm sure your attic, or whatever, after all the heat that we've had of late, and you could hear this is going to be one of those occasions where the exhaust fan or the attic fan is going to continue to run until like 2 or 3 in the morning to keep it cool. So that's what's going to be tomorrow morning. I'll be in the attic, in the sweltering attic, trying to clean this. I have no clue what I'm going to do.
I want Mrs. Rao on our show so she can show us how to fix a snowblower, because that is her expertise. Okay.
All she does is she goes online and she goes to these YouTube videos, and I must tell you that these YouTube videos, I had to go to a YouTube video to figure out how to change the clock in my car.
No, but in all seriousness, and I'm with her on this. Addison, pay attention, because one day you'll be in these shoes. But there are certain things that I will tackle and certain things that I would be very reticent to touch. One of them was my washing machine, and all of a sudden it just wouldn't turn on. So I did a little research, and it was basically I had to replace a piece in the back that required. It was I think the piece itself cost $13 or $14, or maybe it was even less than that. I ordered it on Amazon. I looked at it on YouTube. It was simple enough to do. If I had to call somebody to do that for the washing machine, it would have cost me $200 or $300. It literally was like a $15 or less repair when it was all said and done. So, it does help, although I would admit, I don't know how much it costs to hire somebody to change the clock in your car.
No. But what I'm saying, you're absolutely right, and this is this is what my wife says. She said, "I'm not going to pay somebody to do that." And I said, "I would pay just to save the aggravation that we're having right now."
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that.
Especially this heat.
Jeffrey, if Jeffrey Jeff Banson, who's on Fios One News in the mornings, if Jeffrey's still watching, I got to figure out how maybe if there's a way to bring on a third person in. If we'll do it, but I can't do it now. If Jeffrey, if you'd like to be a guest on our show, you can call the booking department, and they'll take your name and phone number, and we may get back to you within a reasonable time, say 3 to 30 days. Does that work? You think?
Don't call us. We'll call you.
What's that?
Don't call us. We'll call you.
No, we'll get Jeffrey on. He knows. He knows. He's also another person on my list that I love almost as much as I love my laundry, and we will get him on this show. And Addison, you have already had 2 appearances, so I don't know if you're going to put in for a fee or not. But if you do,
I'll send you my invoice.
Right, and just wait by your mailbox. You may get it at some point.
Oh, he'll get it.
Oh, he'll get it all right.
I'm sure. I'll be hearing about it.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. Promo your show.
All right, guys. I'll be working this Sunday night on Fios One News, New Jersey, Hudson Valley, and Long Island. You can find that channel on 1 or 501 if you're on Verizon, and starting at 5 o'clock. Going through the evening hours, and my normal hours, working with meteorologist Brittany Borer, are noon to 5. I'm on Fios One News Long Island and Fios One News Hudson Valley. She is on Fios One News New Jersey.
Okay, great. And Joe and I will be back at the top of the hour. Mr. Rao will be front and center on Fios One News Hudson Valley.
And Mr. Cioffi will be on Fios One News Long Island and Fios One News New Guernsey.
Yes. Everybody have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. This is going to be the beaches are going to be packed tomorrow and Sunday, and the local pools are going to be packed tomorrow and Sunday, and I'm going to have to be fixing mine. Just travel safely and cautiously, and there's going to be traffic, so just be patient. Doesn't get you there that much faster if you beep your horn.
And
it'll make you feel better.
The people who complained so bitterly about the frigid weather and the month of March with the snow and the cold, now they'll be probably, on Sunday complaining about the heat. About the heat.
All right, have a great weekend, Addison. I'll see you on Monday, and Joe, I'll see you on Monday, and
yes,
you'll see all of us on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Or Reservoir.
All right. See you guys. See ya.